Hi everyone, if you're still here, I kind of wanted to take this channel in a bit of a different direction that has more of a focus on mental health and wellness rather than my old style of content. It's kind of been a while and I was figured you know, a switch up was necessary. When it comes to mental health, I am by no means an expert, but I just wanted to use this channel in the future in order to feel like I'm adding something to the world. I mean, just come on, look at my old thumbnails. But if you are interested in this content and want to check it out as sort of a history as to what this channel was, it'll be in a playlist, but we'll see. I don't know how long that playlist is going to be up, but we'll see. Anyways, back to the video. Social media is awesome. When I was younger, I had averaged over 12 hours of screen time per day when I wasn't at school, and this mainly consisted of short form media and some long form videos. And when I was in my little bubble, it was often. I had my own little personal method of wasting away every waking hour because the real world was just so bleak compared to my phone. And it was so bad that whenever I had my phone, like not in my pocket or right next to me, there was a sense of fear that I had because I could not stand to be in the real world without my little dopamine hitter, basically. And I might as well have been trying to find a vape whenever I couldn't just stand to exist, in the mundane world that we live in. And basically, every day I would wake up depressed, just hating what the future could hold. And I had pretty much lost the ability to be happy because basically my dopamine receptors were just so fried like all the time. I'm making this video just to try and give advice to those who have struggled with this addiction because screens are just too awesome. Gen Z and all generations after are currently going through this struggle literally every day. The human brain hasn't adapted to this sort of process that this constant shoveling of rot into our minds, you know, we just we're not used to it yet. We've only been living this way for a short period of time when it comes to human history, And you know, when your parents told you that it's the damn phone, it probably is. And the only problem was when our parents said this is because many of our parents came from older generations and haven't lived their entire lives in this sort of information age where you really don't know what you're consuming is useless or not. And they don't have any problem getting off of their phones because they don't really know what it's like for it to be all someone has ever known, you know. But on the flip side, I do refuse to make any sort of excuses for myself and for any of you out there too, because we can kind of use this age of information to our advantage in order to better pursue real happiness in our lives that isn't this constant cycle of dopamine in our heads. And with and if we didn't live in this age, you would have never found this video and you wouldn't have this level of access to information to help yourself and for self-help. So I just think that everyone has the reins to make a change in their lives for the better. And I don't really want to stand when I do make this video, I don't really want to stand on some high horse like all these other creators act like I got it all figured out, because I don't. But at least I'm struggling, And if you're not at least fighting for a chance, to change, what are you even doing? You know what I mean? Don't start tomorrow. Start right now. The first step is in breaking like any sort of addiction that you have is really just recognizing you have a problem. And I honestly will go as far as to say that even if your screen time is less than 2 hours per day, you do still have to ask yourself the question of how much of that screen time is actually benefiting my happiness and my own well being. Or are you just trying to get a quick shot of dopamine when you use the restroom or in between moments of lag time, or using this plethora of information to benefit you, you know? And I've kind of come to realize that we as humans are not made to constantly process information 24/7. Like, we've kind of been lacking this sort of like lag time, in our lives where we kind of just do nothing. It's good to set aside those little small moments and periods of the day to dedicate to nothing, just for our own peace of mind. Like, we've become so curated to bring up reels or shorts during 30 seconds of lag time, and it's slowly just making us more depressed and more anxious because our minds just don't get a chance just to, rest. And since our dopamine receptors have become so overworked every day, joys and tasks just feel so mundane and joyless now. Think about like that one friend that you have that never goes outside, but is chronically online. We've become so like accustomed to accepting defeat that the world is going to heck, and because our brains, have been trained to do so, like since we put ourselves in this sort of tiny screen all day and we see this constant stream of information all day, you will legitimately see the world as a worse place. And if you're like seeing screens for upwards of 12 hours a day or more, you'll even see the world as like less saturated and less colorful. And if you have depression, this activity is just feeding into it as well. And the comfortable thing for your brain to do is just to say, oh, it's the world's fault for being terrible. And your brain has just sort of become accustomed to blaming it on everyone else. But in reality, I know that most of you do have the power to change your own environment and your mindset. And it all starts with limiting that awesome box of entertainment that keeps your dopamine spikes high and drops them even lower when you face the real world. And a couple things I've done that kind of help me relearn this natural happiness is to use, some limiting screen time apps and to put your phone in black and white mode, which makes it a little bit less appealing. But even with all these methods, I just want to reiterate that nothing you do will cure you if you don't get out of that comfort zone and put the work in yourself. Like, none of this, nothing's going to cure it for you. But you're allowed to give yourself limited time to be down or depressed or be anxious or feel out your feelings. And it's valuable because we all experience emotion, but your brain finds it easier to stay in this sort of depressed, procrastinating, staying in bed type mood when you need to get up and you need to, take some action in your lives to be happy. Because, being happy takes work. It takes a lot of work, and I hate saying that, like, being depressed is easy. Some of us confuse like being depressed with like comfortability, and you have to get out of your comfort zone to find happiness again. And, just saying again, if you stay in this sort of bubble of depression, procrastination, and excuses, where you're always looking at your phone, always processing that information day in, day out, you're gonna die one day, and you're gonna realize that you've just wasted so much time in your life that you really could have gone to a new experience, a new relationship. All this because your entire life you chose to live in your little box of dopamine instead of saying yes to that friend who wanted to go somewhere, who wanted to do something. You could even be that friend who suggests doing something. And if you think I'm wrong, look back at every landmark experience you've had in your life. How many of those experiences involved you being on your phone, wasting the day away, and how many of them involved you just getting out there? It doesn't have to be something big, you know? Take a class, go to a new restaurant, talk to new people, you know, think about when you were a kid and the whole world just seemed more fun, more vibrant, and you were just allowed to have fun because you were a kid playing a sport or just running in the grass. And you know, some people say that that feeling of just enjoying the moment is gone because, you know, we had to be an adult or be a man or grow up, you know. Um, but those people are, they're lying, to be honest. They're just lying. And those people are still in this sort of wallowing feeling of being down and using adulthood as an excuse to stay unhappy. And if you've realized that you haven't had any of these experiences in your life, don't wallow in your own misery and get comfortable being depressed again. Like, make a change, go experience something and be happy because you're allowed to be and you deserve it, you know. Anyways, to go full circle, social media is awesome. And to be frank, it's only going to get more awesome, the amount of people doing everything they can to grab people's attention nowadays, you know. And so the only thing we can do is just stay mindful and limit ourselves because we are in control of our own actions and environments. And that's all I have to say for this video. But I know we just talked about all this terrible stuff on social media, but I do have to play the game of YouTube a little bit because I do want to keep this channel educational, and your support helps make this channel larger and spread it to a wider audience. So if you enjoyed, consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment on your experiences with social media or just anything else, you know, favorite color. That works too. Anyways, love y'all. Peace.